I think wildlife tends to get caught up in conflict, in management conflict, because there are ethics about preserving wildlife, restoring native species that wildlife managers have been pursuing for decades and decades. But a lot of times these actions are perceived as a threat to private landholders or other interested stakeholders.
People don't realize it, but if you have 75 elk dining with 300 cattle, and they're eating nearly the same quantity as your dairy animal, and drinking the same amount of water, and you're in a drought and you have less pasture, you're basically using a lot of labor to manage animals that are not of a productive nature in your operation. And so the rancher's frustrated. The ranchers and the dairymen play a significant role in the economic value of our entire agriculture.
What you're looking at over here is the California coastal prairie of Point Reyes National Seashore. It's the place where we have the greatest opportunity to reestablish what it was in the 19th century. Well, with the elk conflict, the ranchers are getting this land for very, very cheap, about $7 an animal unit a month. Very, very cheap, their leases on it. And so they've got thousands of head of cattle out there. We think that they can share the grass with the elk here. If the elk can't live with the cattle or vice versa, then I think, from my point of view, the cattle have got to go.
Our family's been actively involved in agriculture in Marin County since the 1850s. The biggest challenge I think that the agricultural community has is that there is a plan on the books that requires the Park Service to be responsible for animals that they have moved, and they're not fulfilling their responsibility. And the hope is that the National Park will come up with a plan to get those elk back into the wilderness zone, the area that's designed for them, because they're competing with the agriculturalists on the pastoral zone, the part of the park that was in concept put there or preserved for the agricultural activities.
The issue really comes down to proper communication. I think the best way to kind of get politics off the table is to have a really open environment where folks can listen to each other and folks can take the other viewpoints into consideration with good faith to make sound management decisions.
Sometimes you'll need a preacher, but 3 times a day you're going to need a farmer.
Don't forget, we're very lucky to have farms in the Bay Area that feed us. Who's going to feed us if the farms are gone?